She has a decent father. Loom Wiyun went to open the door, but briefly paused after hearing her words. She hid her feeling of helplessness within her smile and said, "It's all right. The doctor said that you lost too much blood and need some nourishment. Your father was heartbroken when he found out that you got injured, so he asked your Uncle Zhao to go hunting early this morning. They should be coming back soon. At noon, you'll be able to drink thick chicken soup and eat your favorite drumstick." The door closed with a squeak and the room was quiet again. Yuzayako propped herself up and touched the wound on her head. She remembered her dream and took out her arm with the multicolored stone tied on her wrist. She gently shook the rainbow stone, which didn't appear to be very special. She muttered to herself, "It was clearly just my soul that was transmigrated, so how did I bring this stone over? I must have been dreaming earlier. It's just a useless stone. How could it be a divine stone? You're a useless stone. Your whole family are useless stones." Suddenly, a bright spot appeared above the multicolored stone, and a child's infuriated voice emerged within Yuzayako's mind. She was so shocked that she almost threw the stone away in her hand. That bright spot gradually became a small golden ball the size of a child's fist. A pair of big round eyes and a small mouth appeared on the glowing orb, which was leisurely floating in the air. At this time, the small glowing orb was glaring at her angrily with a puffed-up face, which made it look rather cute. Yuzayako reached out her hand and wanted to hold up the small glowing orb. However, that little thing quickly flew away with a haughty and amusing expression on its face. "Don't be angry. I'll apologize to you, all right. You're really a divine stone. Do you really have the ability to heal injuries? Were you the one who healed the wound on my head?" Yuzayako asked a series of questions. The haughty divine stone snorted disdainfully and said, This divine stone, was the only mystic stone that Goddess Noa personally refined. Don't you think I'm amazing? However, most of my power was sealed by that damned linger. How else would I have been stained by a weak human being's blood and foolishly accepted you as my master? Your powers have already been sealed. Why are you still bragging about yourself? Stop with your nonsense about weak human beings. The master-servant relationship has already been established, so I'm your master now. It's not like I'm happy about this situation. You're just a useless stone that had your powers sealed. I can't even eat you when I'm hungry, nor drink you when I'm thirsty. What can I even use you for? Yuzayako had originally thought that she would be invincible with a point of her finger, just like what was written in the novels. Thus, she pouted in disappointment. The small glowing orb turned into a furious little kitten with golden fur and immediately rushed towards her. Its tiny paws almost scratched Yuzayako's face as it screamed, "Who says I'm useless? Who cured the wound on your head? With that big hole in your head, if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't even be able to get up from the Kong bed for at least half a month. How else would you still have the energy to argue with me? Despite having most of my powers sealed, I'm still a stone that was personally refined by Goddess Noa. My bathing water alone can prolong life and cure all kinds of illnesses. Moreover, it can also enhance beauty and maintain youthfulness." Bathing water. Yuzayako blinked her eyes a few times. The small glowing orb seemed to have noticed her doubt and said, "Before I was picked out by Goddess Noa, I was a multicolored stone from a mountain stream. Thus, I really like to bathe in water. While I'm bathing, my energy would emit into the water and create unexpected effects. Your body is too weak, so you should drink more of my bathing water. I can assure you that your body will become strong and healthy. You won't suffer from any more illnesses." The small glowing orb used its short paws to pat itself on the chest, as if it was selling quack remedies. Yuzayako had somewhat believed in it earlier, but she became rather unconvinced now. "You don't believe me? How can you not believe in me? Humph, humph. I seriously need to show you, this mortal, how awesome I am." The small glowing orb was furious and flew around the room in a rampage. Then, it rushed towards the wound on her head and emitted a faint golden light, which enveloped her wound over the gauze. After a while, Yuzayako untied the gauze on her head. Originally, her wound was only partially healed, but the scab was almost ready to be removed now. She didn't remove the dry scab because she was afraid that she couldn't give an explanation when it's time to change her medicine. The small glowing orb proudly snorted at her. However, unexpected sadness comes after extreme joy. Its powers had been depleted, so it abruptly fell down and disappeared into the multicolored stone. The moment it disappeared, Yuzayako heard the little fellow speaking with a weak voice, "Remember to soak me in water. It can help me recover my spiritual powers." Caoer's awake. Let me go take a look. I caught a pheasant today. Quickly go and stew it for my precious daughter. A man's voice sounded from the courtyard. Although it couldn't be considered a pleasant voice, but he sounded very warm. Yuzayako hastily wrapped the gauze back on her head. Her wound was still bleeding a couple days ago. Wouldn't it be weird if it was healed in just 3 days? The door creaked opened right after she finished wrapping the bandage on her head. The wind mischievously entered through the crack and fiddled with the dim candlewick. A tall and burly figure appeared in front of Yuzayako's eyes. Father. Yuzayako had vaguely heard that her new father was a very capable man, so she was very curious about why he would let his wife and children live so miserably. The man swiftly walked towards the Kong bed. She could vaguely see his face under the dim light. He had healthy-looking tan skin with thick eyebrows and big eyes. With a tall nose and wide mouth, he appeared very masculine. My precious daughter. You had seriously scared me. Fortunately, we were blessed by the heavens and it turned out to be a false alarm. After sleeping for so long, you must be hungry, right? Your favorite chicken soup will be ready soon. Yuhai carefully observed his daughter's complexion. She really looked much better than this morning, so he happily supported her to sit up and stuffed a pillow behind her back for her to lean on. Yuzayako's mouth couldn't help twitching when she heard him speak in a gentle tone, as if he was coaxing a child. She was already a 29-year-old woman, so it made her really uncomfortable to be treated like a young child. Yuzayako gently replied, I've already ate an egg and congee. Let mother and younger brother drink the chicken soup. Mother's body is weak, so she needs to nourish her body. Also, younger brother is still young, and had suffered a major fright today. Yuhai gently caressed his daughter's head with his big fan-like hand, while carefully avoiding her wound. He grinned and revealed a mouth full of white teeth. Our Caoer is so understanding. You already know how to take care of your mother and younger brother. But don't worry. We have enough for everyone. We'll leave the rest simmering on the stove, so you can eat it when you're hungry later. Yu Xiaolian heard him and came in with a pout. Father, stop coaxing us. As soon as you entered the courtyard with the pheasant, people from the east room had already set their eyes on it. Just Brother Heezy can eat half the chicken. By the time it's our turn, we would be considered lucky if they leave some scraps. If there's no more, then I'll just hunt for some more tomorrow. Yuhai smiled at her good-naturedly. Don't. Her older twin sister, Yu Xiaolian, secretly rolled her eyes. If you caught more, then it would be even less likely for us to eat anything. You didn't get to see grandmother's pained expression when we needed to pay for the medical fees. She would surely find ways to make up for the loss, while also doubling the earnings. Stop. How can a child reprimand their elder like this? Yuhai scolded her with a rather gentle tone. After that, he turned towards Zayako with a smile. Don't worry. Father will watch over the stove. I'll make sure Caoer gets a share even if no one else in this family does. Yu Xiaolian stuck her tongue out behind his back, then smiled at her sister. Everything is great about our father, but it would be better if he can have a firmer attitude. Grandmother is oppressing us, yet our father is a dutiful son, and our mother's personality is too gentle. Yuzayako had just transmigrated here, so she still hadn't figured out this family's situation. She simply smiled as she listened. When she lowered her head and saw the rainbow stone on her wrist, she hastily asked, Xiaolian, can you bring me some water? There's some bloodstains on the stone. She was too used to being the eldest child in her previous life, so it was really hard for her to call an 8-year-old girl older sister. Smiling contentedly. Thanks for watching. Why not leave a comment below, and let me know what you think. Please like and subscribe and click the bell icon to get new video updates.